Hello everybody, welcome back to wolfeei Extras. Today we're gonna be doing another Reddit Roundup, baby! I don't know what number it is. I totally did not forget about this. Thank you whoever commented, I think it was yesterday. So yeah, ignore the fact that it's been 8 days. Definitely a weekly thing here. This one might be a little weird because I have been actually pretty actively looking at Reddit for some reason. I should probably stop doing that if I'm doing Reddit Roundups. But I've probably seen every single post, or at least close to every single one of them. So let's get started. Potentially clearing up some misconceptions by Illumina. Now, I covered this on stream, but Illumina in here talks about the way he approaches MCC and how some people have it wrong about how he approaches MCC. First one, I imagine I don't VOD review is something people think Illumina does. So he doesn't VOD review, but he does. Alright, I mean, you can read the post yourself if you want. It's just a big block of text, so let's move on. Here's some absolutely breathtaking art of MCC 30, which is pretty awesome. I also think I showed this on stream, but this is pretty poggers. Very, very cool art. Where's Fire Breath Man? I think this is... Fire Breath Man's right here. Oh my god, look at him. Alright, next up. 1 year ago, Captain Sparkles got his first win. It's been that long. Actually, wait, no, I swear he's already won twice. Wait, hold up. So, with the Crimson Krakens, I swear, before Dave recently won, all of the Crimson Krakens had 1 win except for Sparkles, then Sparkles got 2, and all of them had 1. Except Dave now has 2 as well, I'm pretty sure. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, no, this seems crazy as well. I feel like it's a pretty memorable team, but I don't remember exactly why, because I remember when this came out, I thought that, this team would not work, and it did, somehow. So, I mean, cool for them, I guess. GG's. Parkour Warrior, I think this is what? Purpled Illumina Callum, I imagine these are the people that completed hard. Congrats. Also, cool art. I like it. Very cool. The last piece of the puzzle. Blue 31. Less than 100 coins from 6,000 in SOT. Cup Fane with the spawn parkour. True. Real. That did happen. He did do that. And his entire team, I think, was like, no, don't do it. And then he was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then he did it. No, Joel, this MCC. While you're at it, any chance you could be in this MCC? Not in Pride. Busy that weekend. Haha. So, yeah. I mean, this is this is just about MCC Pride, for which I imagine the teams will come out in like 2 days. So I will be live for that, as per usual. Yeah, very cool posts. Well, not very cool. Joel is great, but he's not in. So womp womp. Next up is my post. It made it to the Reddit Roundup, guys. I think I made 2 videos about this, so I hope by now everyone's seen this post. I don't know. It talks about MCC Pride and how before, like a week ago, people were making predictions that made absolutely no sense. And then Scott commented on the thing telling me that I was wrong. Not entirely, but he corrected something I said, which was that LGBTQ people were given a spotlight or a highlight, but that's not how it works. But they kind of, it's like kind of, but I think the way I phrased it was that I said it as if it's like, oh, we're gonna just do as many LGBTQ plus creators we can get and then fill it with big streamers, which wasn't the way I meant it, but that's, I think, the way I phrased it. And then Scott phrased it in the way that I actually meant it, which was that it's high viewership first and then the LGBTQ people, but whatever, we get the point. It's been corrected. I've literally made a video about this. It doesn't matter. Like, everyone already knows. Alright, next up. So far, these seem impossible. Which will happen first? Jack wins a dodgeball round. That is not happening. Purple wins a Season 3 dodgeball. Hasn't he been in 2 out of 3? Not including Scuffed, because he wasn't in that one, and I also don't think that's a canon event. So, I swear he's been in 2 out of 3 of them, back to back, and then hasn't won yet. Because the first time, it was against Shane's team, and Shane's team won. This time it was against the Spanish team, and the Spanish team won, which, by the way, very cool. Punz's place on the tier list is no longer controversial. What tier list? Is it a skill-based tier list? I think it's controversial because I think this might be a weird comparison, but I feel like Punz is comparable to Harvey, where both of them have previously shown to be very dominant players, like very good, but just more recently, and then with Punz's, in Punz's case, a little bit more recently, that they just haven't performed as well. But they still can, because I'm pretty sure they've literally done really well in a lot of the games. They just haven't had a good time in some of the other games, which means that they just get a lower placement. But I don't think, I think any placement is controversial, except for maybe like Purpled, Shane, Sapnap. Actually, maybe not even Sapnap. I think Purple Chain, Illumina maybe. No, I think Purple Chain is probably like the two least controversial placements. Purple drops out of top 5 in season 3. It depends on the game roster. I think so far, most of the, I think all of season 3 maybe even, most of the games have been pretty individual or mechanical skill focused, and Purple is a very individual mechanical skill based player. He is also a good team player to an extent. I'd say compared to some of the other team players, he would probably rank a little lower, but he's still very good. I think it's just also game roster. Obviously, he's also very good, and he's also put in quite a lot of practice recently, I think. But I think it's mostly because of the game roster. You gotta have, the games are where you score your points. If the games are favorable to your skill base, then you should be fine. Let's see. More MCC equals more happy. The break between MCCs in season 3 be like 14 days. I mean, my take on this, right? There's two perspectives I have on this, because for MCC, right? For me, MCC right now, I either watch it as a viewer or I'm a YouTuber about it, or a streamer, etc. As a YouTuber and streamer, I like this a lot. I like that they do a lot of events, because that means I get to make more content. As a viewer, I don't like it as much. I understand that some people will probably be super happy about there being so many frequent MCCs, but to me, it just makes the MCCs stand out less, and they kind of blend in with each other. Which for recent MCCs, blending in with each other shouldn't really be a thing. Like, I understand if an MCC, like, even like 21 and 22, I know that those were probably relatively memorable, because I think one of them was when Captain Sparkles won, but like, I don't remember what happened for like anything besides Captain Sparkles winning. It's all the same thing. You could tell me that, like, who was in the event? You could tell me that Dream got like first individual in parkour tag, and I would be like, yep, could have been any single event. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of unfortunate that as a viewer at least, that the events blend in together. As a player, I don't know how players would think about this. I think obviously the more they get to play, the better. I think if the roster were to expand more and more, having frequent MCCs would make the benching a little less harsh, I guess, a little less unfortunate for certain players. But I don't know. I think I think overall having a shorter time between MCCs is worse, but I understand if people think it's better. I don't think it's much worse. I think it's slightly worse than having the like 4, maybe even 5 weeks in between events. Another has joined. I joined the 219 club. Shane needs to like I understand that there's a grind, but my guy has been grinding too much. I don't know if you guys know this, but he doesn't only play this on stream. We're literally like, we'd just be in call, like just later on, just chilling, and then and then Shane's just screen sharing the MCC practice server, just playing Ace Race, and I'm like, bro, can you like play, I don't know, Overwatch, something else? I mean, I obviously I don't fully judge, because I would probably do the same thing, but yeah, it's just interesting. All right, sorry, I had to take a drink of Lemonade. While not directly related to MCC, Mr. Technodad's Minecraft event is on June 3rd. Seeing how MCC organizers in Technodad's event, I'm coping on Technodad and MCC. Let's look at the poster. For those of you who have not seen this, there's an event on June 3rd, which is this weekend, this upcoming weekend. And it features a lot of cool people. Here's your teams. It's for Technoblade, obviously. You got Team 1, Schlatt, Charlie, Tommy, and Tubbo. This will be a very funny team. You've got Ant Frost, Jack Manifold, Phils of Velvet. This will be a very interesting mix. I think it could be really fun. You got Amesy, Shane, Gucky, and Scott. I think this will be a really fun team. You got Nikki, Poodwaddle, Rambo, and Sniff. I'm not too familiar with Poodwaddle, but I've heard of them. And I think I actually teamed with them maybe in the past. I don't remember, but I think I might have. So yeah, I mean that seems like a chill team. Then there's a team of Dream, George, Sapnap, Skeppy. This will be a very big team. And then Team 6, Krinios, Hannah Payton, I'm a Squid Kid, Sophie, Texas. I feel like this is more of an homage team. I might be incorrect. I don't recall how. Actually, I guess there's other people who really didn't like interact with Techno that much in the past. Like I feel like Connor Reed's Pants would have been a good person to have on here. Obviously, yeah, I didn't host this, so it's not my choice to make. But I feel like Connor should have been here. There's probably so many other people who should have been here. Even Harvey. Where's Harvey? I feel like Harvey should have been here. There has to be more. Wilbur? I guess Wilbur might not be available, but Wilbur obviously would have made sense. I don't know. I mean, it's cool regardless. I just think there's some people missing. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this will turn out. Obviously, big supporter of anything coming from Technodad right now because you know, it's out of respect. Also, maybe my takes are wrong, but I feel like expecting Technodad in MCC Pride is very silly, considering that he just started playing Minecraft. Like, he's played like 3 times. And Minecraft events are very overwhelming, especially if you don't know what's going on. Or if you don't play video games frequently. So I don't think we should expect it. But, I mean, if Technodad were to be in MCC Pride, I would be very happy. Obviously, that would be really cool. Thoughts on Wally Bear? He suck. Wally did really good. Oh, this is made by Wally. Fair enough. I mean, Wally did really good in his first event. I think Purple's guidance definitely helped, but you still have to be really good to work with someone giving you a lot of advice. So it proves that he has a lot of skill on his hands. Happy birthday, Quig. Happy birthday. 2 days late, but happy birthday. Respect Sandkeepers. Captain Sparkles opened up about his difficult relationship with Good Times with Scar. He didn't like when I went goblin mode. True. How many wins every winner has if you subtract their dodgeball losses from their wins? Non-canon wins are included. What? Dream has 6? If you hold up. If you subtract their dodgeball losses, Dream has 6? What? That's crazy. Also, H has 0, which is weird considering he's won 6 events, which means he's lost 6 as well. I mean, Scott has 5 wins and is in -1, so clearly there's some silliness going on around here. Purple has -2? Has he been in Dodgebolt 4 times? No way. Yeah, has he been in Dodgebolt 4 times? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. It makes sense, I guess, but yeah. Dream at 6 is wild. Congrats on JoJo on making... JoJo made the 219 club on the practice server. Yippee! Yippee! Yahoo! MCC needs more team games soon, and Pride could be a huge component for the future of the event. Yes, MCC does need more team games soon, but it's way easier said than done. Trust me, I help work on an event, and it's not easy to make actually good team games, especially for MCC. You have to keep in mind, MCC is at a state right now where they can't really make a game that's simple. Like, they have to make something big, kind of. If you look at recent games that were introduced, you have Parkour Warrior, which obviously with the rework has been made really big. Like, it's been, like, there's so much going on. What was the game before? Was it Meltdown? Surely not. Was it Meltdown? Oh, it's a bit that, maybe I'm missing something? Rocket Spoof Rush? I don't remember when that came back. One of the two. Rocket Spoof Rush, it's the base game that they had, but made way bigger. Like, the islands. I still think it's not relatively simple because the core gameplay is pretty distinct from vanilla Minecraft, but it's still pretty big as, like, a concept. Meltdown is crazy. Very simple concept, but very, very epic execution, I would say. It's very well executed. So for them to do a team game, it would be a little difficult. Also, something that I don't think many people realize, and this will be advice for anyone coming up with ideas for team games. The one thing that you cannot include in the team game, or should try to avoid as much as possible, is puzzles. Because puzzles require a lot of maintenance per event. You cannot do the same puzzle twice in a row. Or, if you do the same type of puzzle, you have to change the solution, which is what they do in Sands of Time. Because the puzzles are always the same. It's always the block puzzle and the, like, block in the piston thing puzzle, right? And there's probably other ones, but you cannot make them you can't make a puzzle be that big of an element of gameplay because it requires a lot of maintenance. And they already have Grid Runners, which is a lot of maintenance because they have to update. I mean, Grid Runners is a puzzle game. And it's the reason why, or at least it probably is the reason why other games don't get updated as much as they used to in the past. It's because Grid Runners needs to get updated every single season, and it's always at least like 3 rooms, or like half of the rooms are always different. So you have to keep that in mind. If you have a team game, it needs to be something simple. What they can do is, I think what they had, Bingo, I think is alright. It's too simple. It needs to be expanded upon for Bingo to work in MCC. Build Mart, I know, is controversial. I think Build Mart as a concept makes sense, and I think if they were to find an alternate approach to Build Mart, it could work. It would have to be named something differently, though, because the Build Mart name has so much negative connotation to it now, because people hate it, or as viewers and players don't like it. So it's a little... Yeah, it would have to be changed. And then coming up with a new team game is also not the easiest, but I'm sure they can do it. I mean, they've got some creative minds over at the Nox Crew. They could probably come up with something. So yeah. Let's talk about this. Alright, no secret that Season 3 has been extremely competitive so far, especially in the last 2 events. As a Purple viewer, while I do love watching him dominate the event, I feel the overall sweatiness of the players is getting out of hand. I agree. MCC's marketed as a for-fun event. Is it? Is MCC marketed as a for-fun event? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. But I understand, maybe it is, but I feel like that's a reach. Nowadays especially, I don't think you could look at the roster and the games and look at it as a for-fun event. There is most certainly a very competitive element of gameplay present in almost every single game. It's turning into a competitive event. True, I love the casual fun teams like Cyan 22, Orange 24, etc., but I feel like those vibes are not easily achievable in MCC's current state. I agree. Casual teams don't exist right now. It's very hard to pull off. A big reason for this is that the participants who play the event more for fun aren't interested in more. Participants themselves have spoke out on the sweat level as well. Luminous discussed it after MCC 31. The link here. Hold up. Let's take a look.
Hit the button! Hit the button!
Get in the box!
Get in the box!
Gibby!
Fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. Fine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you have to push the button. Yeah, you have to get.
I'm going left.
Where did he discuss it? That doesn't have a timestamp. Never mind. I guess we're not looking at it. Oh, I'm blind. 3:12:55. Let's see what Illumina thinks.
Come on, hit the button. Hit the button.
Get in the box.
Get in the box.
Gibby.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. Fine.
3:12.
Yeah, you have to push the button.
55.
Guys, I don't know if I like how sweaty MCT is getting. Because we got Purple, we got Samna, we got Shane, we got Wally Bear, we got Jojo, we got P, we got me, we got Fruit, we got Hannah. Like, can we just, like, remove myself and can we just remove all these players?
True.
Maybe MCC would just be, like, a for fun event. Bro, people are literally leaving MCC, people are quitting MCC because it's too sweaty. I feel so bad. I feel like I'm just evil. I feel like a villain.
No.
I don't want to be that sweat who's like gets first every time. I don't feel good about it.
I think
I don't want to be the reason people are leaving.
I think it's hard to say really. I don't think Illumina is the issue, because Illumina was around when the event wasn't a sweat fest yet. I also don't think you could point at specific players and name them, call them the problem. I think the problem that MCC is facing is the problem that anything Minecraft related is currently facing. And it's that the active Minecraft content creators nowadays who do Minecraft are almost all good. If you've looked at almost every single creator that has recently, and recently is within like the last 2 years, shown a lot of growth, almost every single one of them, as of recent, is like, you've got Lifesteal, you got the Minecraft Manhunt guys from YouTube, you've got just hardcore Minecraft creators, more people, it's mostly the YouTubers. You've got competitive Minecraft players like Shane and me. You got other players. It's all people, almost all people that are really good at Minecraft. And when you're looking at MCC, also, funnily enough, I know some people complain about it, but the viewers are also to blame. I don't know to what extent Scott listens to viewer requests for players or looks into it, but viewers are also a problem, because on Reddit, at least, every single time I see requested players, it's almost always, like, at least the majority of the requested players are insane at Minecraft. You got Curryway, Feinberg, me, Boostver, Kaman, trying to think of more people. There's probably so many more. And as much as I think every single person I mentioned would be completely fine, is completely fine as a person, and I think the majority of the people I mentioned would fit in MCC, I forgot to even mention Lifesteal. All of Lifesteal, with a few exceptions, but the few exceptions are people that wouldn't be the ones that people would want the most in Lifesteal. The people that would be most wanted are like Rekrap, Prince Sam, Radoons, Clown Pierce, Parrot, probably. I think those are probably the 5 most requested. All of them are good, by the way. I think the viewers are to blame, because the people that most people want to see get added are all really good. And as much as I think every single person mentioned, or not every single person, most people mentioned nowadays should get a chance to play, because I think they would fit in really nicely. It goes at an expense of the OG players, the older players getting benched or potentially losing interest, etc. MCC is just at a really hard stage right now, and I think they can't fix it. They really can't. Or at least it's going to be really hard to fix it. The only way you can fix this is by benching your top players more heavily and filling out your roster in a more middle-heavy or bottom-heavy skill level. How do you do this? It's much easier said than done. But I imagine there's plenty of creators who'd be interested in playing. They might not be the most popular creators, but there is probably plenty of people who would be down to play. And you also just need people who don't care about winning as much. Obviously, most people will probably care to win, but I think some people only care about winning, and I think that's what ruins certain players' experience in MCC. I don't want to throw blame on anyone, because I think you should be able to approach MCC however you want. You should be able to play the way you approach, as long as you don't go by yourself and include your teammates, because that would be a little crappy. But you should be able to play however you want. Let's continue reading this. Mentioned how he hypothesizes that MCC might just be forced to be sweaty because casual players don't sign up anymore. That is partially true. Partially true in the sense of some people just don't sign up anymore. Maybe they're busy, maybe they've lost interest, etc. Other part of it is that there's more good players in MCC. If you look at recent additions to MCC, last event, I think mostly agreed upon the main good player is wolfeei, who in his first event got 4th individual within a competitive aspect, got 4th, because guess what? He really wanted to win, and he was with Purpled, who helped him a lot. So, you know, that's already a really good player. MCC 30, you have Shadoon, who then didn't do well, but now got top 10. The one before, you had Shane, who is Fire Breath Man, so he is gonna do well. And then that's been Season 3. Season 3, every single event, there has been one addition to the roster who I think will eventually be an S tier. If not already an S tier. I think Shadoon will be able to get there. That's a problem. That is a very big problem. It makes sense, right? It's really bad to have a new S tier get added every single event, because it makes making a roster much more difficult. MCC has a slight benefit over, like, for example, Block Horse, which is where I obviously experience this. MCC has a slight advantage because MCC has way more name recognition and is just a way bigger deal right now. So people care about signing up more, care about playing more, and they want to play every single time. They care about winning more, etc. So they might sign up just because they really want to win, etc. So that's like a nice thing to have, but I've lost my train of thought. You get my point. There's too many good players, and a lot of people really want to play. This is going to be why Purple hasn't been benched since 23, why almost every team has an S tier now, why MC30 existed. Reddit also made a post here recently where they discussed that they struggle in individual games. They feel like compared to the rest of the team. They feel they excel at support roles to help the team, and this is what MCC needs more than anything right now, so what's the solution? I did see Eric's post. I very briefly spoke to Eric about this. Very, very briefly. I will not say what we talked about, obviously, but some players, as shown in Eric's post, some players who are lower skilled feel like they're hurting the team by being on the team because they are lower skilled, and I think that's a really unfortunate perspective that has come to play. I think it makes sense to think this. I understand, because at least certain viewers don't know how to be nice, and they will throw the blame on teams losing on certain players not doing well. But I actually think, and this might sound very silly, I think I already said this before, that lower placing players, lower skilled players are the most valuable. I think lower skilled players, regardless of if they get 40th on a team with, like, Purple Chain, whatever, and, like, they do completely terrible and everyone, like, you know, they let a team down. Who cares? That doesn't matter. You are extremely valuable to the event because you allow the event to be ongoing. every single lower placing player is contributing to MCC being able to run, to Block Wars being able to run, to any event being able to run, because without lower placing players, and if you remove all the lower placing players, the lower skilled players from all events, and your worst players are people who currently place in the middle, your event gets killed within, I'd say, half a year. That's like the very high end. If you have 0 low placing players, your event is dead in half a year. Because when the mid players, people who usually play in the middle, start placing in the bottom 10 consistently, they're going to stop playing, and then you've got a roster of 40 sweats. Nobody wants that. I know some people have been requesting that to happen. This might sound rude. You're stupid. That is not a good idea. You do not want that, because that's going to kill the event. Yes, it might be cool for one event to be like, oh, wow, this roster is so sweaty that Fruitberry's got 32nd without it being like a fluke. He actually got 32nd. Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, cool for one event. After that, they're not going to want to play anymore. You do not want this. You really don't. Anyways, their solution is team games. Currently, MCC is very individualistic rather than team-based. True, this makes total sense when you consider the game pool right now consists of a whopping 6 movement games. Yes, that is true. I think movement games should be split into 2. Movement games should be split into 2. Parkour Warrior, Parkour Tag, to get to the side, I think follow relatively under a relatively similar wing, especially more recent to get to the side. I said this, I think, on stream or something. Where is Terra Swoop Force? I feel like Terra Swoop Force is the saving grace of To Get to the Side, and it's not been there for like 2 or 3 seasons. Put both the tunnels in. You know how hype that would be? Both tunnels? They don't have to be back to back. You start with a tunnel, you end with a tunnel. Perfect. Put them both in. I think that'd be really cool. I think Parkour Warrior, Parkour Tag should be together. I think To Get to the Side falls under this as well, because I think this is like the sweaty mechanical skill category. I think to do well at these games, you, for the most part, have to be very mechanically skilled. There is some team elements, like I think in Parkour Warrior, it's just scoring, which a lot of people have complained about. Parkour Tag, I mean, every single game here, aside from Ace Race and Parkour, no, I was gonna say every single game here is team-based. No, half the games are team-based. Parkour Tag, To Get to the Side, and Hole in the Wall are games where, yes, you heavily rely on your individual skill, but you can help your teammates, or you can be helped by your teammates relatively easily. Parkour Tag and Hole in the Wall is communication-based. To Get to the Side, you can literally physically place blocks and create a path for your teammates to walk on if they aren't very skilled at Minecraft. Next up, you got the other games. You got Parkour Warrior, which looks like a team game, but it's an individual game. It's just scored like a team game. Rocket Sleep Rush, which is an individual game. And Ace Race, which is an individual game. It's just scoring that makes it seem like a team game. So I think movement games, there's 3 types. I do agree that it's way too much. I think it should be reduced to, like, ideally 3. Ideally, the MCC game roster is 3 movement, 3 PvP, 3 team, I think. Potentially even 3 or 4 movement, 2 PvP, 3 team. I think PvP is a little bit of a problem, but yeah. 4 PvP games: Sky Battle, SG, Meltdown, Battlebox. Actually, never mind. I'll take it back. 3 PvP games is fine as long as Meltdown is one of them. I think Meltdown is a nice game to have that is PvP based, but isn't like the most PvP mechanical skill based, because it's just bows. And only team games, Grid Runners and SOT. Yeah, the two, only having 2 team games is a big problem. Though I can't say too much because Block Wars only has 1, so I guess does it. No, it has only 1 game that is just a team game and isn't something else. So yeah. Simply put, if you do not find success in PvP movement, or you're going to have a tough time, I don't care if it was a build mart revamp, a new building game as a whole, a bingo revamp, or an entirely new idea completely, we just need a team game soon. Players who are more team focused can feel like they truly have a role in their team, and this can allow for less sweaty teams. True. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy MC right now, but there was something so special about early mid-season 2 events where you had a perfect balance of casual competitive vibes. You got to see your favorite creators just chill, interact, and have a great time with people you will never have guessed for 2.5 hours. This isn't gone right now, but the current focus is on chilling. If something does not change, so we might never be able to get back to these times and bring back old players who don't want to have to sweat the event to have a good time. I'm really looking forward to having a laid-back event again in Pride, and here's to hoping it could be the start of something more casual events again. Yes, I agree. How do you get this done? Honestly, take another break. I know that sounds probably very wild, but I think MCC needs a break. I know the event just came back, but I think they need a break. I think they need time. They need actual dedicated time to work on 1, maybe 2 new games, both team games. If they do that, that resets the negative momentum of competitive events, and it sets them back to a good state. I just realized I've been talking for 36 minutes, and I think half of that has been just this post. Anyways, yeah, obviously they're not going to take a break, and I'm pretty sure Daniel said something along the lines of wanting to do like 12 events this year or something. I don't remember where that came from, but they want to host events, so they're going to host events. They just need time and probably people to help work on the event and bring in team games and make the event less sweaty. Because, I mean, realistically speaking, if you had the roster you have right now and you had 8 cents of times, or, well, not 8 cents of times, if you had Built Mart and you had Bingo and you had a new team game thrown into the mix and you had Meltdown there, that's 6 of the games, and then you have like Ace Race and Sky Battle, the teams are no longer a problem. If your game roster looks like that, your teams can be whatever they want to be. You're not going to really have much of a problem, because you're going to have way more team-focused gameplay, and you're going to have a much more enjoyable event. That being said, I'm going to call it there. I hope whoever was missing the Reddit Roundup is happy with this Reddit Roundup. I barely did a Reddit Roundup. I just talked out of my ass for the majority of this post. I don't even think I got much further. Purple's next team got leaked. Cool, yeah, it makes sense. He needs a solo team. She got a second coin. Can't wait for all the on-stream flexing it's going to do. Yeah, and he ripped the thing. He ripped the card. Dodgeable round losses canon only. I don't care. MC player with the highest coin average was born on that month. Shane's born in August. Techno's born in June. June representative. I'm also born in June. MC31 yellow accents of time and fruit. Scott. Yep, totally. That's when Scott defended him. So what if they made the goalkeeper core a bit harder? No, this doesn't make any sense. Don't do this. Floating chains make no sense. You gotta keep in mind that MCC also likes aesthetics. This is not aesthetically pleasing. Average fruit, I don't care. Pete's Rocks was not being taught about yeah, whatever. Just saw this in the comments of Illumina's post. This would be a fair trio with another player, right? Keep your head up, goat. Heart. King, if you ever want a meltdown crash course, I'm always around to help. Yep. Guys, if you said he will join MC during MC 15 or season 15. Well, clearly he did not. And Sam up signed up for MC Pride. Cool. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I will call this here. I'll be hopefully maybe back tomorrow talking about stuff, and also I will be live on stream on Thursday when the teams get announced. All right. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Bye.